Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time, we got the Falchion fully powered up from Naga's Blessing, and now we're finally ready to take on Grima. Except first we have to get through the evil Volcano of Ominousness, which just showed up on our map. And, I think an Anna just kinda died. But anyway, actually though, from that last location that we were at, we can finally buy Bolganone, Thoron, Rexcalibur, and Waste, some of the most powerful tomes in the game, so we definitely have a lot more options in terms of magic now. Took them long enough, because really, I mean, we spent ages into the game only being able to buy, these were the best we could buy, so kind of annoying. But anyway, our next destination is Origin Peak. First I want to check the barracks, because yes, it's a certain someone's birthday today, I had a feeling. It is Inigo's birthday! Hope he gets presents from all the girls, except he probably won't, given his luck. Magic and skill. Magic's not going to help you today. Experience, that's nice. And, oh, if this is a stick. Celica's Gale! Hey, a lovely lady did drop that. That is actually awesome. Okay, that's great, because I plan on using his skill and speed is excellent. I plan on using him in the next map, so that's good. Yarn and Tiki, hey, two of the army's non-humans talking. There's actually a bit of a weird thing here. If Pan talks to some of the other characters, in the Japanese version, she said something like, something about, it seems you humans are strong too, and it was possible that she'd say that to a Manakete. They changed that in the English version to, it seems Targwell aren't the only strong beings out there, which makes a lot more sense. But yeah, Tiki's quote there is kind of sad. If there was ever a representation of huge guy, tiny girl, this would be it. Oh hey, Nara and Mary Sue. This is interesting because the Avatar is able to support with any character in the game, including all of the second generation children, regardless of whether or not they're their parent, and the Avatar has totally different dialogue if they're the non-parent of all of the children. The Avatar supports with second generation characters are actually quite interesting, especially, Noir and female Avatar in particular is, it's really heart-wrenching, but it's actually pretty good. Basically, Noir wishes that female Avatar was her mother for obvious reasons. But anyway, we have lots of supports to do, but I don't think I'll be able to get through them all now, because the next chapter is going to be kind of long. I get the feeling it is going to be somewhat long, so I'm only going to focus on supports of the people. Well, I might only be able to get 2 supports in, but hey, we've got to see Basilio and Flavia support each other.
Alright.
Also, I warn you, this conversation is, well, has to be seen to be believed. I'm guessing this is they're used to this by now. This is their customary way of greeting each other.
Oh my.
Interesting.
No.
You're not doing yourself any favors there, Basilio. Oh, wow. And ouch, seriously, this line, wow. Yeah.
What?
Oh, great.
So I wanted to discuss something, but ended up insulting each other. Basically, a day in the life for the two of them. Their higher level supports do get better, though. And, okay, Cordelia can max out her support with Severa, Jerome, Shush B, and Lucina B. You know what? I'll go with this because this is at least maxing out her support, finally.
Huh?
Who do we have to blame for that? I think the one who spent all of our ration money on, frivolous stuff. And Tsundere mode again.
Yeah, and?
Well, at least they're actually talking to each other on good terms now.
What? Yes. I'm here. Yes. Huh?
But now we finally get to see Severa's real feelings. Yeah, the whole time she just didn't want to lose her mother again.
No.
That's why she was being such a jerk before.
Thank you.
Heart exploding. Okay, Severa's C support with her father really made me dislike her a lot, but that brought a lot of respect back. Although, in some ways, that support is kind of sad, considering, well, let's just say that one day, Severa may leave her mother behind and go on a journey. And, well, I guess we'll have to see what happens to her then. Now, yeah, I really want to do more supports, but I don't think I have time because this next chapter is just insanely brutally long. Really insanely brutally long. But it does give a lot of good experience. Although, speaking of experience, I have a few characters that I plan on using in the next chapter I might actually have to level up a little bit. Where are you? Yeah, Riken. Level 12. Will he be able to take on this chapter at level 12? Just wondering. Last time I did this, I wanted to bring him to the next chapter for a very specific reason. But the last time I did this, he ended up at level 16 by the end of it, so, I think there's enough experience for him, it's just that... Okay, I'll see how this chapter goes. If I have trouble, I might go back and grind a bit, but first, I'm going to get myself some new weapons, so, see you back here in a bit. I guess there is one more thing that we need to do before we head on out to Origin Peak, and that is, as much as I hate to do this... Chrom's going to be wasting experience if I don't, so I'm going to have to reclass Chrom. Again, I don't like reclassing the main character of the game, but I kind of need to in a way. Now, people have pointed out that reclassing Chrom to Paladin isn't such a bad thing, because basically that's the same class as, like, Sigurd was in Fire Emblem 4. You know, Lord Knight. I guess that makes sense, but Paladin, I'm probably only going to go to level 10 in this class. Definitely I'm not going to go all the way to 20. So, the second skill from Paladin is level 15, and I'm not sure Chrom's going to get there by the final chapter. Meanwhile, Great Knight would give him Luna, which is like a failsafe in case Ether doesn't activate. I guess, you know what, he can still use swords as a Great Knight. His speed takes a pretty, yeah, somewhat significant hit as a Great Knight, but his strength goes up a bit. Yeah, this is part of the reason why I consider reclassing to be kind of overpowered. Chrom gains a point of strength going from level 20 to level 1, so that's kind of ridiculous. Speaking of Chrom's strength is way higher in this playthrough than it's ever been in many of my others. Usually Chrom... As I was saying, usually Chrom's strength is roughly equal to his skill, speed, and luck, because they all have relatively similar growth rates, but in this playthrough, Chrom's strength has gone pretty insane. Much more in my first playthrough. If you look at my Street Pass skirmish file that I showed off, you'll notice Chrom's strength was a lot lower there, so interesting. Thankfully, he can still use the Exalted Falchion here, just not the Noble Rapier, annoyingly. Speaking of weapons that you can't use, I might as well get rid of those. And now, I guess, it's time to head on out into... See, it even changes Chrom's map sprite, which looks weird to me. Anyway, time to head into Origin Peak. Chapter 25, To Slay a God. Personally, I think the Japanese title of this is even more awesome sounding. In Japanese, this chapter is called How to Kill a God, which may or may not be a Princess Mononoke reference. I'm not sure exactly how that line is said in Japanese. I haven't watched that movie in a while. Random tangent, but that is my favourite Miyazaki movie of all time, so yeah. Yes, the Fell Dragon is indeed on top of this evil volcano of ominousness. Yeah, we remember.
I see. Indeed.
Oh no! Naga is onto Mary Sue! She must be destroyed!
Correct.
Well, there's a difference there. Naga is not really a god. In the terms of the plot, Mary Sue basically is a god. But exactly, if we just put Grima to sleep, then our descendants 1,000 years in the future will just have the same problem. We had to stop this for good. And Crom said exactly what I said. Now think back to what Naga said in the last chapter.
Yeah.
Naga said that the only thing that could kill Grima is himself. And Grima said earlier that their heart is one with the Avatar. That means...
Really?
That technically, we have a way to force Grima to kill himself. Or more likely, Grima's going to be killed by himself. Another version of himself. Time travel's weird like that.
Perhaps.
Consequences, huh? Yeah, we know that already. Oh, that would mean that Mary Sue would die. What a horrible thing to happen.
Heed me.
Now, there's a really weird thing about this sequence of lines here. This dialogue here, all these lines that I'm going through, for some reason, this dialogue is different if your avatar is male, despite the fact that gender is never referred to in these lines. For some reason, Naga gives a slightly different speech to a male avatar. I don't know why they did this, it just feels a little strange. But she won't just be dying, she'll outright cease to exist.
Crom?
Now, this bit is interesting. I remember I told you before my reasoning for refusing Lucina's judgment earlier.
Listen to me.
I personally feel this choice is a little bit different. Now, you have the option to promise not to sacrifice yourself here. This doesn't actually affect anything plot-wise, it only changes one or two lines that happen next. But what I see this choice as is, it's different in this case, because here, the Avatar is actually making this decision along with everyone else, and they're letting other people know of their plan to sacrifice themselves. If they gave in to Lucina's judgment earlier, if they did get killed, their family would have no idea why they died. Not only that, but Lucina would kind of get into trouble with the rest of the army, and relations might heavily strain as a result of what she did. Whereas here, it's just the Avatar sacrificing themselves alone rather than having someone else in the army kill them, so... In this case, well, you'll see what this all leads to in the final chapter, but at the moment, I'll say yes, promise not to sacrifice yourself?
Right.
This only changes a few lines, but you get an echo of the two halves of a whole thing if you choose yes, so... Oh no, the death dealers have returned. Without Maleficar, who's leading them, though?
Father!
And we're back to ominous battle preparations music. And speaking of ominous, just look at this map. This smoky volcano with these huge mountains, this dark-looking land. I love the way this map looks, too. It's just pretty fitting for a finale. Of course, we have death dealers here. Interestingly, while the last chapter was almost entirely mounted enemies, this chapter has no mounted enemies of any kind. Well, no horseback enemies of any kind. There are still griffins and dark flyers, but no wyvern lords or paladins or great knights, so they're kind of giving some variety in the enemies. Also, for healers here, the enemy actually has tricksters. Tricksters with physics staves, and they can be quite annoying. Now let me check, speaking of annoying, these stupid warriors. No counter. Let's see. And they've got Maya enemies as well, so those guys are very, very irritating. But yeah, a good mix of swords, axes, lances, and magic, and you have a lot of skills. And these enemies here are pretty tough. As you can see, they're level 16. They do give an absolute ton of experience, though, and that's what we're really going to be using this chapter for. Our last attempt at gaining massive amounts of experience before the final chapter. Well, it would be if it weren't for, I'll say that later. But we also have some forts here, so you might be thinking reinforcements. You would be correct, but the forts are a red herring. Reinforcements are in this chapter, and trust me, there are a lot of them, but they do not spawn from the forts. I'll talk about them later. As a boss here, yep, she's back, and well, her stats are pretty crazy. She's got effectively 40 speed and has a legendary weapon. Aversa is very, very powerful. Thankfully though, taking her down ends the mission immediately, and it's very possible to finish this chapter in a couple of turns if you just use rescue staves and fly a couple of flying units over this mountain and smash Aversa's face in with a beast killer right from the beginning. You can end this chapter in a couple of turns, but I'm not going to do that, because I want the experience, and it's going to be a bit of a pain for me, because this chapter is going to be very, very, very long if you don't end it immediately, and that's why I made an attempt at, well, avoiding some support conversations, because otherwise this chapter would be even longer. Now, as for who we're bringing here, I kind of still want to use Basilio and Flavia, because they've only just joined. I want to bring Brady here, because magic users... Wait, Brady? What's your rank like? B. What the heck are you doing not using Thoron? Yeah, I bought a whole ton of, let me see. I bought a whole ton of... Actually, Rex Caliber's a bit more useful here. Let's see if I do have a spare Thoron, though. I basically went and splurged on these high-ranked tomes. Yeah, 3 Thorons. Because you want to equip all of your mages with them now. Anything else is really not going to cut it at this point in the game. Now, I'm also going to bring... You'll see I haven't kicked out Maribel. I'm also going to bring Ricken here. There is a very, very good reason why I'm using Ricken and Maribel in this chapter. You'll see why at the very end. Or maybe you can already guess what I'm planning on doing. Now, who else needs to be deployed here? I haven't actually used Kellum and Tharia for a while, but for some reason who I want to use here is Inigo. Well, I mean, it's his birthday after all, and I'll bring Olivia as a pair-up partner for him. Bring Yarn because, well, I actually just want an excuse to use Pan again. I haven't used her for a while, but her Beastbane is going to be very useful against these Dark Flyers and Griffin Riders. Also, I haven't used Longhua in ages, and he's going to be great against the Axe users. But, you know what, he's already kind of maxed out with Lissa, so let's build up some supports with someone else. Where are you, Gregor? There you are. I'm going to build up his support with Gregor, actually mostly because Gregor could desperately use the experience from this chapter because he's falling very, very far behind in levels. Now, this gives me 2 slots left. And of these 2 slots, I kind of want to bring Lissa. I brought her last time as a Fortify healer because we're going to need a Fortify healer here, trust me. We're going to be splitting up and both sides are likely to be taking damage, so a Fortify healer is very useful. Now, where the heck are you, Lissa? Really, where are you? There you are. And also going to bring Noir because she needs to get some supports up with Brady. That and archers are very, very, very useful here because you, and lots of flying enemies. So, let's rearrange ourselves. Again, you want to split up in this chapter, and because there are more axe users on this side, I'm going to have Longhua and Gregor go that way. Hopefully, Longhu's not going to just get himself killed, because he is quite fragile for this point in the game. I hope his evasion can hold. Now, Brady... Where are you, Brady? There you are. Of course, Brady, Rickon, and Maribel should go on the same side of the map, just so that he can build up supports with his parents while he's building up supports with Noir. I want to leave them closer to the beginning area of the map, though, because I want to see if I can take down some of these Griffin Riders and Dark Flyers quickly. On that note, Inigo has a bow, so I'll use him for that too. Basilio also has a bow, so I could... where are you? Where's Flavia? For some reason, I cannot see where Flavia is. There she is. Flavia and Basilio will go together to hopefully take out a few of these guys. If I do this right, I could force a couple of them to get archered to death. And Mary Sue goes there because she and Crom are... I keep thinking that Crom must be Frederick from the way his portrait looks now. And with that, looks like we're pretty much ready. Okay then. And I'm going to save on the preparation screen just in case I need to exit to grind.